10:59. So we're going to wait. Maybe we'll have Mr. Staley here play a little bit at the beginning, just as people are coming in. And just remember, actually, you might want to tilt it a little bit so you're facing more of the camera. You see the camera over there? Just for people outside of the room. There you go. Shabbat Shalom, welcome. Welcome to our Shabbat services here at Shir Shalom. We welcome Marshall and his whole mishpacha, his whole family, his team around him. We're so grateful just to be in this space together. And those of you outside, and wherever you are around the world, we welcome you as well. We are using the Mishkan Tefillah prayer book. It is available on a virtual copy online on our Shir Shalom website, or you can go to the ccar.org, and Marshall will be leading much of the service today. We're so very grateful. If you are attending in whatever virtual way that you are, if you want to tell us that you're here and wish Marshall a mazel tov, that'll be much appreciated. So Marshall will be leading most of the service, and he is going to be introducing today with a little speech telling about his bar mitzvah.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to my bar mitzvah. A bar or bat mitzvah is when a student comes of age at 12 or 13 years old and becomes an adult in the Jewish community. Now that I am 13, I will be able to read the Torah, bless the Torah, and be a part of a minyan or quorum. In order to say certain prayers, you need 10 Jewish adults. And from now on, I will be a Jewish adult and count in a minyan. This is very meaningful for our family. I am being bar mitzvahed at the same temple as my father and my Uncle Jay. My grandmother Pam recently passed away, and I know that both she and my late Grandpa Alan are here with us today. Grandma Arlene, Papa Joe, and Aunt Sasa were able to travel here despite the pandemic, which is a blessing. I am so grateful that they are here with me on this special day.
Wonderful. Thank you, Marshall. And he's going to begin the service on page 288 in our prayer book with one of my favorite bar mitzvah readings, page 288.
May my life be one link in a chain of goodness. As I say the prayers of my ancestors, help me to recall their devotion and faithfulness, their joy and suffering, which are in every word. Holiness is my heritage. May I be worthy of it. May our tradition live in me, and pass from me to generations I shall never know, enriched by the truth I have found and the good deeds that I have done. So may I fulfill my task on earth and receive my blessing. And when the service ends and the prayers have ceased, Help me to bring their spirit into the world in which I live. May I love God above all and my neighbor as myself, and be a living witness to the truth that never changes. Modeh ani lefanecha, melech chai v'kayam, shechazarta binishmati bechemla, Rabba emunatecha, Rabba emunatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kadishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
Okay, wonderful. So Marshall just recited the blessing for the tallis, and I'm going to invite his grandparents, Arlene and Joseph Michael, to come and, Lori and Mark are going to present the tallis, and this is a very special tallis. It comes from Lori's family and through Marshall's family. It is multi-generation. I believe that it is Lori's grandfather's tallis. How wonderful that Marshall can have this important family heirloom given to him. A tallis, a fringe garment, is something that a Jewish adult wears. And this is the very first time Marshall is wearing this. And so he's also going to be reciting the Shekianu prayer for new things. If you could recite that blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, shehekianu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
Amen. Blessed are you, God, who gives us life, allows us to arrive here right now, and allows us to be in this space together. And we say, Amen. We're going to invite Marshall's parents, Laura and Mark. You can sit down at this point. And we are going to be turning to the blessings, the morning blessings, starting on page 293. Page 293.
Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, asher natan lasek vivina lihavhin ben yom uvein laila. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, zokif kifufim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, rokah haaretz ol hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, melbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, hanoten la'ef koach. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, hamavir shena me'enai utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tselem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, she'asani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, otir Yisrael b'tifara. Baruch atah Adonai Elokeinu melech haolam, asher kadishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Please join me in the reading on page 298. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all. Please turn to page 306 for the chanting of Psalm. Page 100.
You'll hear in the back that Cantor will be leading this section. Apologies, she'll be off screen, but you'll be able to hear and sing Psalm 150.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Kol Shama Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Kol Shama Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Please rise and turn to page 313 for our call to prayer, the Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz v'ladarim alecha, berachamim uvtuvo michadesh, b'chol yom tamid, ma'aseh v'reshit. Ma rabu ma'asecha, Adonai kulam b'chokhma, asita mala ha'aretz kinyanecha, titbarach, Adonai Eloheinu, al shava ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she asita, yifa'arucha sela, or chadash al tzion ta'ir, v'nitzkei kulanu mihira le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai yotzer hom orot. Please join me in the responsive reading on page 317. O God, inspiration and guide for all, you have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity.
We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully, we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel, and joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life we would turn to you and find purpose.
May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir in our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Please turn to page 318 for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated and join me in the chanting of the Via Hafta on page 319. Via Hafta et Adonai Elohecha b'kol levavecha u'b'kol nafshecha u'b'kol me'odecha v'chayu Hadevarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech v'shokbecha uvkumecha ukshartam liot al yadecha v'chayu letotafot bein einecha uktabtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'item kedoshim lelochechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lachem lelokim ani Adonai Elohechem.
And we'll continue. Marshall will read on page 321.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children in the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace.
And we turn to page 322. Cantor Frank will lead us in the Mi Chamocha.
Mi kamocha ba'edim Adonai, mi kamocha edom hakodesh, nora tehilot osef eleh, nora tehilot osef eleh, shir hadasha shebecho geolim eshimcha sevatayam yachad kulam hodu v'hilchu ve'amaru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Zug Yisrael, como b'yasat Yisrael, avteken omecha, Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Godenu, Adonai tzivot shemo, Kadosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai.
We rise for the tefillah, those of you that are able, page 323.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agitilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elokei avotenu v'imotenu, Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yisach, v'Elokei Yaakov, Elokei Sarah, Elokei Rivka, Elokei Rachel, v'Elokei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomil Chasadim Tovim, Vikonei Hakol v'Zoker, Hasadei Avot v'Imahot, Umevi Gula, Livnei v'Nechem, Laman Shemo be'ahava. Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ve'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye Hakol, Atah Rav Lehoshia, Mashiv Harua,
Umarita Gashem.
Michakel Kayim Bechesed, Michaye Hakol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayim Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Micha Mocha Bal Gibirot, Umidom Elach, Melech Memit Umechayim Umatzmiya Yeshua B'nei Eman Atah L'chachot Hakol Baruch Atah Adonai Mekayeh Hakol.
We remain standing for the Kedusha, page 326, and Cantor Frank will lead us.
Nekadesh Shimcha Bavolam, Kishem Shemakdishim Ato B'Shmei Baruch, Kakatuv Yadavieka, Takaraseh V'Yamar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, V'lo Kol Haaretz Kivodo, Adir Adirenu, Adonai Adonenu, Madir Shemcha B'Kol Haaretz, Baruch Kivod Adonai B'Imkomo Echad. Hu Eloheinu, Hu Avinu, Hu Malkeinu, Hu Moshienu. V'hu Yashmeinu B'rachamav Le'enei Kol Chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Yimloch Adonai le'olam, Eloi Zion, ledor vador, Hallelujah.
Page 328.
Ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador, nagid God lecha. Ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador, nagid God lecha. Olenem zok netzachim, kedushat lecha nakdish, kedushat lecha nakdish. L'shimchacha Eloheinu, v'binu lo yamush, le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador, nagid God lecha. Ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador,
Ledor Vador,
ledor vador, nagid God lecha.
At the bottom of page 328, Marshall and Cantor Frank will lead us in Vishamru.
Bisham,
Shamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam.
Bishamru, b'nei Israel, et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. B'nei u'bein, b'nei Israel, oti le'olam, oti le'olam.
Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat, lidorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz.
Ashri, Shabbat Vayirapash, Shabbat Vayirapash, Shabbat Vayirapash, Veshamru B'nei Israel,
Et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We remain standing to complete the tefillah through page 337. Whenever you're ready, you may be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
We continue now with our Torah service, and what we're going to do is we are going to be inviting the family around the Torah here as we symbolically pass the Torah down from generation to generation. The Torah, the scroll of Moses, has been passed down from Mount Sinai all the way from generation to generation to us today through Marshall's family to him. So I'm going to invite Marshall to come over to the Torah. And I'm going to invite Lori and Mark as well. And other family members. I'll look to Lori to instruct whoever you'd like to be over there with you. I want you to hold on to the Torah there, Marshall. Just to the Torah, the Eitz Chaim, the holders there. Hold on to it and feel through the generations it being passed down. Cantor Frank will be leading a prayer to really help us focus on it.
we are gifts and we are blessings, we are history and song, we are hopes and we are healing, we are learning to be strong, we are words and we are stories, we are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Lidor vador, nagid god lecha. Lidor vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Lidor vador, these lips will praise your name.
We invite Marshall over back to his microphone, and he's going to be leading responsibly on page 366 in our prayer books. in the middle of 366 with the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadalu Adonai iti, Unaromema Shemo Yachdav.
We invite Marshall now back to the Torah, and I'm going to invite his father Mark to help him as we're in Breshit. We need the Torah to be opened to a certain place. Oh, I forgot something, Marshall. You need to introduce our Torah with your second speech. So you can sit down again. Sorry, Mark. So Marshall is going to introduce what he's reading now.
My Torah portion is Genesis. It is the very first portion in the Torah. Last week on Simchat Torah, we finished the Torah, and this week we will begin again. My Torah portion is about the 6 days of creation. Each day is a different step. I am reading about the first 3 days of creation. God created light and darkness because the world was very chaotic. On the second day, God separated the waters above from the waters below. Below there were airplanes. They believed the sky was water because it was blue. On the third day we were ready for dry land, and we had the first plants. Over the next couple of days we will have insects, animals, and human beings created. Finally, on the seventh day, God rests. This is why we have Shabbat, a day of rest. The main part of my portion is about God, because he is the creator, and if he was not around, the world and creation would have not occurred. God is the reason we have habitats, living creatures, and human beings. I will also be reading from the Haftorah, which is the additional reading from the books of prophets. My selection is taken from the book of Isaiah, a prophet who lived around the time of the destruction of the first temple. Just like my Torah portion, the Haftorah is about the creation of the world. It talks about God's powers and making everything in it. My Torah portion can be found in Genesis 1:1.
So, for those of you in the room, if you have this other book, you can follow along. It'll be on page number 2. Now I'm going to invite Mark over to the Torah and Marshall, and you should find there a gift from our religious school, which is a brand new yad, which is the pointer. Do you see that on the table there by you? Is there one over there? Not that one. See if it's over there. Joanne put it there. So is it right over there, Joanne? Oh, there you go. Okay, so this is a gift that Lori has in her hand from our religious school to you. That is a yad or a pointer to be used on your bar mitzvah and any time, Marshall, that you read Torah for us. So those of you that don't have our Pentateuch here, you can just look up Genesis 1:1 and you can follow along with Marshall. And Marshall, why don't you hold that up so everyone can see? Thank you. So helping us out today, we have Harvey Horowitz, who is serving as the Gabbai. Harvey will be calling you up a little bit later for Marshall's actual Aliyah, but he also has been Marshall's tutor, and he's his helper or Gabbai as he reads Torah as well. For the first Aliyah, I'd like to invite up Marshall's grandparents, Arlene and Joseph Michael, to their microphone over here. Ya'amdu proud grandparents, Lalia Harishona.
Baruchu et Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachibanu mikal ha'amim v'tinanu lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
All right, Marshall, we're ready for you. Oh, hold on, sorry, Marshall, we forgot your microphone. Let's bring your microphone. All right, over. I'm so sorry.
Bereshit barach Elokim et hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'chaaretz hayot tohu v'vohu v'choshech al panei tichom v'ruach Elohim mirachefet al panei hamayim vayomer Elohim yehi or Vayehi or, Vayar Elohim et haor ki tov, Vayavdel Elohim ben haor uven hahoshech, Vayikra Elohim laor yom v'lahoshech kara laila, Vayhi erev vayhi voker Yom Echad.
We turn now to your grandparents to offer the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'titcheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the second Aliyah, that will begin on verse 6, I'd like to invite up Lori, proud mama, to offer the blessings before and after the bar mitzvah. And why don't you use Marshall's mic?
Baruchu et Adonai Hambarah.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarah Laolam Vaed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bashar banu mikol ha'amim v'naten lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai naten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Elohim et rakia b'toch hamayim v'hi mavdil ben mayim lamayim vayas Elohim et harakia vayavdel ben hamayim Asher mitachat l'rakia uvein hamayim asher me'al harakia vayehi ken vayikra Elohim l'rakia shamayim vayehi erev vayehi voker yom sheni.
And Laura, if you want to do the blessing after the Torah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher naten lanu Torat emet v'kayei olam nata b'tokenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For For the third aliyah, we're going to invite everyone to rise, and I'm going to invite Harvey Horowitz to announce you as a bar mitzvah, and we're going to help you out, give you a little strength. We're going to have our fists like this, and we say chazak, chazak. Okay, we're going to go like this. Chazak. Okay, on my cue.
Ba Yamod, 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 Habachor Habar Mitzvah, Baruch Yerachmiel, Ben Moshe V'Sara, Maftir.
Chazak. Now, Marshall, remember to do the blessings before and after the Torah.
Bareku et Adonai Hamevorah.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamevorah Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vayomer Elohim Yikavu Hamayim Mitachat Hashamayim Amakom Echad V'tera'eh Hayabasha Vayichichen Vayikra Elohim Layabasha Eretz Ulemikveh Hamayim Karayamim Vayar Elohim Ki Tov. Vayomer Elohim Tadshe Haaretz Deshe Asher Esev Mazri Azera Eitz Peri Oseh Peri Let me know Asher Zar Ovo El Haaretz Vayechichen V'totze Haaretz Deshe Asher Esav Mazria Zera Lemineku Ve'etz Oseperi Asher Zar Ovo Leminehu Vayar Elohim Ki Tov Vahi Erev Vahi Voker Yom Shaleshi. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet V'chayei Olam Nata B'tochenu Baruch Ata Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. I'm going to invite Mark if you want to put we can close the Torah up at this point and put the garment, the cover over it. Yishaberak Avatenu Abraham Yitzchak V'Yaakov V'Imotenu Sarah Perecha V'Leah. May the Holy One have blessed your ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless Marshall and his whole mishpacha, risen in honor of Torah, in honor of Shabbat, in honor of community, in honor of health and happiness. May they have many, many opportunities to gather together in the near and the far future, and they have much joy in their family. And we say, Amen. You may be seated. Marshall is now going to be chanting from the Haftarah, which in our book is on page 21. So if you want to follow along in the Pentateuch, it's on page 21. And if you are looking for it elsewhere, it's on in Isaiah chapter 42. No, I think that's right. 42?
Verse 5.
45.
No, 42, verse 5.
42 verse 5. 42 verse 5.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratza v'dvarehem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'nevin v'ech ha'emet v'tzedek. Ko amar Cha'el Adonai Borei Hashamayim V'notechem Rokach ha'aretz v'tza'etzaecha Notein b'Torah le'am alecha Beruach le'lochim Ba ani Adonai kiratika v'tzedek v'yaksik b'yadecha ve'etzarha ve'etencha livrit am le'or goyim livkoach einayim Yivrot lihotzi mimasker asir mi beit kelech yosh vechoshech. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'alomim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman hamoher ve'osech hamdabir umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom Hashabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha shvilim nuchach lechavod utifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach umbarchim otach yitbarak shimcha bifikol chai tamid leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
Amen. So at the completion of the Haftorah, we add a little bit of sweetness. We have candy? Oh, not yet. First, do we have candy, Laura? Okay. So what we're going to do is, with the family around Marshall has candy. We start our journey of learning with a little sweetness, and we end it with a little sweetness. Cantor is going to be singing Siman Tov with Mazel Tov, and as she does, we're going to shower lightly, like the rain outside, a little light sprinkle on Marshall to offer him a little bit of sweetness.
Siman Tov and Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Umecho Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Umecho Yisrael, Yehelanu.
final speech for us, and we're going to turn it over to him to give us some words of wisdom.
For my community service project, my family and I raised money on social media that we used to buy food for families in need. We were able to raise almost $400, which we used to purchase food to donate to a local food pantry. We were able to fill 15 grocery bags with non-perishables. When I saw the huge warehouse filled with food, I realized we were one of many in our community to help others in need. It taught me to appreciate the people and the things that I have in my life. In that regard, I would like to express my gratitude to my parents who've supported me every step of the way in this journey to becoming a bar mitzvah. I would like to thank Rabbi Alex and Harvey Horowitz for their patience, guidance, and education. I would also like to thank Cantor Arlene Frank for helping me to learn my blessings and prayers.
Mazel tov. A deep breath. You did a wonderful job. We're going to be having, your mom Lori is going to be offering a little blessing and some words of wisdom to you. So now it's the hard part. You have to listen as people say nice things about you. And your dad, Mark, will join as well.
As we stand here and look at you today, I reflect on how fast the past 13 years have gone. It seems like just yesterday that we were gathered in our home for your bris with Cantor Wheely. She too would be very proud of you today. As these years passed, you have worked so diligently to learn about Judaism, our heritage, and the Hebrew language. You have learned now how to read Torah and to use your lovely voice to sing Jewish song and blessings. As these years have passed, you have made Daddy and I very proud. We are proud of the hard work you have done in school, the great friendships you have made, your sportsmanship, and your sense of community. We adore the unique qualities that make you, you. Your creativity, your silly sense of humor, your huge heart. Today is a very special day as we watch you step into adulthood. As proud of you as we are, you should be very proud of yourself. You have worked very hard, and today is an amazing accomplishment that is well deserved. Mazel tov, congratulations, and we love you.
I told you, Marshall, this is the hard part, but your parents have to kiss you. So we invite Lori and Mark to sit down. We have a couple of gifts from you from our synagogue. We have a Kiddush cup that I think Lori had over there. That is the cup that we use for many occasions, and we hope that this will be used for many happy occasions from now on, and that you will treasure it in your family. We also have something we signed earlier, which is the Bar Mitzvah certificate to remind you about this day, and also has your Hebrew name written on it, just as another reminder of that. There is a coupon to take a trip to Israel through Nifty. I think it's about $250, but don't get too excited. That's about a $10,000 trip. You do get a free trip called Birthright as soon as you turn 18 until you're 32. So I hope that you start thinking about that now, and that you take our Jewish community up on that wonderful offer to visit Israel not too long from now. So Marshall, it is wonderful to be in the room with you. It is wonderful, Cantor and Harvey and Joanne and I, and Paul, to witness this very moment. I've had a chance to see you since you were a very little boy. 8 years ago is probably around the time we first met, and you were just 5 years old. Over that time, I've seen you diligently here in religious school, week after week, always with a smile on your face, always participating, always being a good citizen, and really taking an opportunity to learn about your tradition. And all that time I thought of you as a little boy, like that 5-year-old. Sometimes we have that picture in our head. But I have to say, both here at the rehearsal and over at this bar mitzvah, and last week when you read from the Torah publicly in our outdoor service, I have seen you grow up in front of my eyes. I'm not like your parents that see you all the time, and so sometimes I miss the fact that suddenly you're not a child anymore. You're a young man. And you're a young man who has a wonderful voice, a wonderful perspective on life, and much to contribute, not just to the Jewish community, but to the larger world. You were given one of the most important Torah portions, Genesis. You started off our entire journey that will take us an entire year to get started. And you did so beautifully. When you read out in the parking lot, you read with a clear voice, and you read again with a very clear voice and a purpose. What a wonderful thing for our entire community to begin our journey together with you today. And what I will say to you is that I believe you have a very bright future ahead of you. Keep doing what you're doing, being a good citizen, learning and growing, being a good brother, a good son, a good grandchild, a good nephew, a good friend. If you keep doing it exactly the way you've been doing it, you are off to very, very big things. And it's okay if there's bumps along the way. That's the way it's intended. Those bumps are meant to learn. But I hope that you feel today especially proud that you have become a full Jewish adult, someone that can participate in all of our services, that can make our quorum, our minyan, and can represent our community. How wonderful also that this is not the first bar mitzvah in your family in this space. That is not something I get to say very often. It's wonderful to have multi-generations as well. Knowing that others in your family have gone through this as well. So don't be a stranger. Keep in contact. We're rooting for you, and we're so grateful to have been able to host your bar mitzvah here today. And we can't wait, and I speak for all of us, to see what will come next. So continue to surprise us, continue to grow and mature, and have a wonderful, beautiful life ahead of you. We say, Mazel Tov.
Thank you.
What we are going to be doing is turning towards, we're almost there. I told you at the beginning of the service that we offered you a blessing. Your family offered it together with me. The priestly blessing, one of our oldest blessings. And Cantor and I are going to be offering it again to you as a way of blessing your journey. And we'll invite your family to rise. And if they want to put their hands on you, just like the ancient priests did, please feel free to do so. So come close to Marshall over there. And I'm going to call on Cantor to recite the Hebrew parts, and I'll translate. May God bless you and watch over you. May God shine God's light upon you and grant you comfort.
Shalom.
you and grant you and all of us peace. And we say together, Amen. We're going to be turning now to our concluding prayers of our service. On page 586, Aleinu, we invite you to rise for this one. Sorry for the family, you already sit down. But page 586 in our prayer books, you do not need your pentateuch anymore.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הרצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וכל עבדנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Page 591.
ונעמוד לחיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ היום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
You may be seated. We turn to our Mourner's Kaddish, page 598 in our prayer books. And Marshall already mentioned a few. It's grandparents that I know are here with us in spirit. Alan and Pam Harrishburg, and Pam who passed recently, so we're thinking about them. We're also remembering Bernard and Gertrude Rosenberg, and Louis and Sylvia Michael. And we call all of those names as we recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Those whose custom it is to recite the prayer, page 598, I invite you to rise if you are reciting it with me. (598). Yitgadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Bialma, Divra, Verite, Biamlik, Malchute, Bechayachon, Biamachon, Bechaye, Bechol Beit Yisrael, Bagalav, Yisman, Kariv, Yimru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah, Barach, Le'olam, Olmeo Mayam, Yitbarak, Yishtabach, Yitpahar, Yitramam, Yitnaseh, Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalal, Shemeda Kudasha, Rechu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechamata, damiran bialma v'yimaru. Amen. Yehi shlom rabamim shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimar amen. Oseh shalom v'yimaramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimaru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony and high bring peace to us, to all Israel, to all the world, and we say, Amen. So, on behalf of our synagogue community, we wish Marshall a mazel tov on a terrific job today. Thank you for really representing our community in such a beautiful way, and I hope you come away with a great deal of pride in your accomplishment. We just have two more prayers to go. The Adon Olam, page 625. Actually, this looks like, I don't think we have a holiday. Oh, Cantor has one. Okay, so, sorry, Joey. So page 625, Adon Olam, and it is a responsive one, a prayer. So, Marshall, why don't you lead us off?
Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'Terem Kol,
B'Terem Kol,
Yitzin Nivra, Yet Nasa,
Yeit Nasa,
B'Chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'Yachavre, Kiklot Zakol, Neva Adoyim Lo Nora Adon Olam, Ve'hu Haya, Ve'hu Ovel, Ve'hu Yevatim Para Adon Olam, Adon Olam Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'Terem Kol,
B'Terem Kol,
Yitzin Nivra, Yet Nasa,
Yeit Nasa,
B'Chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, Ve'hu Echad, V'yesh Sheni, Levam Shilo Lehavira Adon Olam, V'li Reshit, V'li Tachlit, Ve'lo Ha'oz Ve'lo B'Yisra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'Terem Kol,
B'Terem Kol,
Yitzin Nivra, Yet Nasa,
Yeit Nasa,
B'Chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'yado Avkid Ruhi, V'yeti Shad Ve'achira Adon Olam, V'yivruhi, V'yati, Adonai li velo v'ibra Adon Olam, Adon Olam,
Adon Olam,
Asher Malach,
Asher Malach,
B'Terem Kol,
B'Terem Kol,
Yitzin Nivra, Yet Nasa,
Yeit Nasa,
B'Chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam.
So Marshall, if you could come over here and take the challah. Oh, no, just over here on the table over here. Why don't you take the challah over, and if you want to say the blessing over the bread. You can uncover it first. We say, ooh, ah. It's real.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Ti lechem min aretz.
Amen. And that challah is a gift from our synagogue as well for a wonderful Shabbat. And we wish you and your family a mazel tov. This concludes our service. As you came in peace, may you leave in peace. And we say, Shabbat Shalom.